Good evening, everybody. My name is Rich, and this is Reviews with Rich. I am back with another video. Film Club. We're going to be talking about 1987 classic Paul Verhoeven's directed Robocop from 1987, one of the best films from the 1980s. Changed the genre in a lot of respects, but also as well softened as a brand further on down the line. Now, I cannot be doing this on my own because you'd be bored by my dulcet northern tones. Instead, I am joined by a number of my friends, one of which has just posted his first ever YouTube video. He's a fantastic photographer and a great guy. His name is Alan. How you doing, buddy? You all right?
I'm good, man. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure. Appreciate you joining us. And we're going to have a couple other people join us as well along in the evening. Some people are running late and stuff, but it's great to have you. And it's great to have you. If you want to be a regular, man, you're more than welcome to. And it's good to have a Scouser on here as well. me and Ben, the attention seeking geek, we're talking about going over to he's going to the Liverpool.
Yeah, you mentioned.
Yeah, so I might be going as well. So it could be a good little laugh. So yeah, we'll get ourselves over. Also, awesome. On our stream, I have my friend, a very great guy, Shane, the 1-6-figure focus. I always jump over that one a little bit. Also, you're joining us. So, Shane, how are you, my friend?
Good. Funny you say that. This morning I was in the gym and I said, right, I flicked through the YouTube streams and I said, right, I'm just going to listen to Lael's comic book talk with friends because they were talking about Deadpool 3 and I was like, yeah, I want to get the other takes on it as well. And someone said focus, and sure enough, even though
no way, really,
yeah, it wasn't there, he put the thing up and I was commenting going, I'm in here at 5 a.m. I just want to listen to some Deadpool 3 talk and you're here focusing on me. But he had the thing up and everything, like, so I hope you got a bit of a laugh out of my comment.
That is great. That's fantastic. So there's a little bit of thank you for that, Al. There's a little bit of feedback on your end, but if you can just mute here and there, that'd be great. Got a few people in the chat, so it's great to see that people are tuning in, which is nice to see. Quick teaser for everybody. So next Tuesday at the same time, we'll be doing the classic Terminator 2 Judgment Day. And we'll be doing that. I get copyright struck if I did too much. So we'll be doing that next week. So make sure you join us, same time, same bat channel. So if you can, just bear with me, get the chat up. And we have 1 second. Riley. Hey, buddy. Good to see you. Thank you very much. Let's go. I had a pleasure of hanging out with Riley last Friday on Will's stream. Great guy. Look forward to doing that more often. If you want to join us next time, Riley, give us a shout. It'll be way before your time because I know you're a young lad, so you might need to watch it for the first time. And so my good wife, Katie. Hello. Hey, baby. Got focus there in the chat. Hello, good evening. Hey, hey, panel and chat. Looking forward to this. Thank you very much, Empire Strikes again, for the support as always. Al in the chat and focus there. A nice plug for Al himself. So I'll be throwing up Al's link in the description after this. So to make sure everyone gets a chance to see it, if you can subscribe to his channel and everybody's channel as well in the panel, I would very much appreciate it. So before we start discussing this absolute classic, I've got a little trailer to show you.
You're gonna be a bad mother. Man.
This guy is really good.
Half machine.
Robocop. What is he?
He's a cyborg, you idiot.
All hero.
What are your prime directives?
Protect the innocent.
Let the woman go,
Or there will be trouble. Uphold the law.
you are under arrest.
What is this shit?
Justice gets an upgrade.
Looking for me? Your move, creep.
Robocop. Robocop.
Thank you for your cooperation.
How good's that?
That's an
Shane, you asked
absolute
it.
banger trailer, man. That is the most
Isn't it?
80s thing I've ever seen in my
It's
life,
the
and I
most
love it.
80s. It's fantastic. I love how like there were bits where they were blatantly about to start swearing and they just cut them out there and then. I'll give you a quick thing about how I know you got a good story as well, Shane, when you first watched it, but I'll tell you quickly mine. Me and my brother asked our dad to take us to Blockbuster Video. We were both about 10. He was about 8. We went to Blockbuster Video. We'd already borrowed Terminator, the original, and watched that, even though we were way too young. And we borrowed, it's like early 90s. So we borrowed Robocop. So we saw a man get shot in the dick. We saw a man run into his car into a toxic waste and then get run over. And then we saw a tank shoot an unarmed man for 200 times. Then we watched Robocop, and then little joke there. No, got lost. Anyway, never mind. Thank you. But yeah, so I mean, like we were way too young to be watching that. But what an absolute classic! I have not seen this film in over 20 odd years. I watched it last year when I was younger, and then I haven't watched it since. And so it was fantastic to go back to it. I personally forgot how bad the acting was in the first third of the film. The supporting cast, the way that they were acting was so over the top, just was not at all bought in. And then obviously then starts ramping up, and what a ride. What an absolute classic. There is a really interesting story behind the making of it. But first of all, Al, what did you think to this?
Like you, I hadn't seen it for a long time, and I watched it a couple of times, like leading up to last week, and yeah, it brought a lot back, to be honest. Because I like you, I saw it when I was way too young. I shouldn't have seen it, when I did, and yeah, like watching it again, like I was like really struck by like the effect. Like some of them obviously are like really dated, like the when Dick Jones, Ed 209, the kind of the rotoscoping or whatever it was, the kind of wasn't didn't hold up, and when Dick Jones falls out of the window toward the end.
Oh, yeah, that's the worst thing ever.
Wow.
So bad.
The longest
it was
arms
like
in history.
Like Freddy
scene. It was
Freddy
like
Krueger dream. I was like, that
it
didn't
like
hold up.
Clay. Awful. Yeah, I saw that. Spoilers for this, by the way. Even when I was
Spoilers.
Carry on, buddy.
Dick Jones dies.
He doesn't make it, guys. He doesn't make it. Directed 3.
But yeah, it was good. Like it's very snappy. Like it's a really like there's no filler whatsoever. It's just bam, 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 bam. All the beats that are remembered, like it just hits them pretty much. There's no fluff in between it really. Yeah, it's I say I saw it when I was really young. I saw it later than I saw like things like Predator and Alien, so I haven't got that connection to it really. I prefer like that type of thing. I'm more as like creatures and monsters and things like that. There he is.
Here he is.
Yo,
Hey, man.
How you doing, buddy? You all right?
how y'all doing? Yeah, it's a little rush day. I just came back from I had an appointment. I had the gym first, had an appointment, and now I'm here. And then I had to make sure that I was Shane fresh today. You know what I mean?
I actually got a new hoodie through
It's
today.
working.
It is working, but it's not as fresh as that. Mine's a Pete Pirate Life one, so it's quite cool. It's got a skull on it, but that looks fresh. Good to see you,
Alan. My man, what's going on? How you doing?
Yeah,
I'm good, man. I'm good. Good to see you, man.
That's good, man. Good to see you.
Apologies for any feedback and weird sounds. I think it's me.
It might be
don't-
me. I don't know.
It's definitely me.
I'm from my laptop right now. I had to boot up the computer because it went out on me yesterday. So it's a little dim because I'm on this laptop, but I'm here.
What it looks like, actually, it's like Robocop's POV. That's what it
yes,
reminds
it
me
does with the yeah. That looks awesome. Yeah.
So
also, as well, we get to see some of the premium formats and the ones that you got to say like first time seeing your Darth Maul and stuff up there. They look awesome. And you got the speed race speeder as well. First time I've seen that as well.
Yeah.
That looks great. Yeah, there you go. It's a new angle for you.
Mhm.
Got Posing with P. Hey, buddy. What's up? All 7 people watching, 7 likes. That's what I'm talking about. Excited to see you geek out
Yes.
over one of the best films of the 80s.
Mhm.
Pete, you know this. You are welcome anytime. We're doing Terminator 2 Judgment Day next week. So if anybody wants to join us, give us a little shout and we'll get you on the stream as well, Pete. So it'd be great to have you hang out with us as well. My buddy Dan. Hey guys, nice Black Adam statue. Thank you very much. Did a review on it on my channel. Quick plug. Quick unboxing and review of this. And let me tell you, it's fantastic. Value for money, $45. Fill your boots. It's fantastic. It's from McFarlane Toys, DC Direct partnership. It's the first one that they've done recently. Well, they did the Batman, but then this is the first one that they've done recently, which I really, really approve. So if you get yourself down to Amazon, if anyone wants the link, give me the shout. But yeah, so we're just talking about Robocop, Leal. When did you first see it?
Okay, so I saw it the first year it dropped. Here's the thing. Like, we at that time were, it was me, my best friend Sean Wolf at that time, Micah Clark. We all lived in one particular area, and we used to have it was a theater called the Eric Theater. Now, anybody who's basically familiar with Far Rockaway, Queens, it was 2 theaters that were right behind like a plaza. You go in, they were 2 twin theaters. Back then you could pay like maybe I'd say $5, $6, $8 for a ticket, $5 for a ticket, and you would actually be in that theater all day. You can actually just watch the film as many times as you want. Now, mind you, though, this was basically a date. This film was rated R, of course. And we shouldn't have been in there by ourselves, but we were. And I'm telling you, the shock value of this particular film, because the thing is, the trailers, and if you saw the trailers back then, they didn't sell the amount of violence that was in this film. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You had no expectations. Like, you didn't know what to expect going into it. I didn't know what I was going to actually see, what I was preparing for. But it just, it was back then, the CGI technology, everything that they use, even practical, was mind blowing. I had never seen anything like that before, and it was just amazing. So yeah, it was
absolutely ahead of its time. I'd done a bit of behind the scenes stuff, and obviously I'd read up a lot on it. I did watch a lot of documentaries and things like this. And one of the things was one of the guys who was on there, one of the writers, he was taken from Blade Runner, and he'd started working on this project, and they wanted to get a few of the art directors from Blade Runner and stuff to go and basically build up Detroit. And instead of doing that, they allocated the money towards the suit, and the suit cost $1 million. Now, in old money, hell of a lot of money, and they allocated that. And you know what? I know they've done a remake a few years back, but this suit still holds up. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. There's a couple of times when I was prepping for this, I kept saying, it might not be much of a reference, but I kept saying Paul Weller, not Peter Weller, as in the Jam singer. So if I say that at any time, I mean Pete Weller. So Shane, how about you, buddy? When did you first see it?
Oh man, I'd imagine very late 80s, early 90s. Parents were up at the grandparents' house, and they were kind of going down to the pub, a few drinks or whatever like that, and the babysitter was over, and we were able to go down and get some films. And I don't know how I managed to sneak that one past my parents, because it was clearly 18s, like you say, R-rated. We have like 18s or 15s written on it, or 12s, whatever. And I don't know how I convinced them. I think it was like, oh yeah, there's nothing bad in that. Like I don't know how I did it, but I know I was definitely not 18. I don't think I was even 12. I think oh, this is like, I reckon I was about, I don't know, 9 or 10, like watching this. Like I was too young for that level of violence, and I think every single one of us on the panel agrees that no matter when we saw this, we were too young, whatever.
Way
but
too much, yeah. Yeah.
So like I obviously, like I it was on a VHS, and I was just very young watching it, and man, there was that one scene that gets me, and every time I watch it is when Clarence takes that guy's hand, and I just I still remember jumping, because I'd never seen anything like that. And even though I was, smart enough, it's just a film, but it did make me think, do people do things like that in real life? Like, and it definitely was a bit of my, like, a bit of a moment of like innocence being gone and the naivety being taken away, and just that one scene, and then what they did to him. Even though it's a science fiction film, man, as a kid, I was scared, and I felt really sorry for this guy, like, as in really scared for him. And like, it was weird. The one thing that kept coming back to me is how lonely he must have felt in that moment. Like, he had a wife and kid at home, and these guys just did not care. I think these are like one of the most evil depiction of a gang I've ever seen in a movie, like, because, like, if you watch, like, say something like Avengers or something like that, like, there's big explosions going off, Thanos does terrible things, but that kind of up close and personal, I'm going to take your hand at close range, we're going to shoot you and laugh about it. The guy coming in going, does it hurt? Just really, the script really hammered home, we have no regard for human life. So that was the first thing. It really scared me, and I remember being very shocked about it. What's interesting, like, I'm going to counter your point, Rich. When I went back and rewatched it, like, it kind of ties in what Alan was saying. The kind of, because we're so used to, like, amazing cutting edge CGI now, I was like, what's the story with the cat sounds from Ed 209? You know what I mean? And the strange, like, CGI, which were obviously cutting edge at the time. Yeah. But I actually thought what made that scene believable was the hysteria that went on, the panic in the people's eye. Something's going to happen. And they must have been looking at, like, what? Like, X marks the spot? Because obviously Ed 209's not there. Maybe they had some sort of a prop that was kind of looked like him. Yeah, I've got a little clip on that, yeah. I thought that scene was pretty, for the most part, the panic definitely came across and sold it for me. Like, but the get the paramedic line gets me every time, though.
The ship sailed on that one.
I reckon he's dead.
You know what was crazy is that, and if you watch the documentary, I know pretty much you probably heard about this too, Rich, is that scene was supposed to be much darker than what it was portrayed, because the original concept of the film was for them to completely blow half of his head off, like blow half of his face off, and they were going to cover half of it. But for the sake of just the simple fact that the studio felt as though they had already taken a dark turn, they were like, nah, we don't want that much violence. And I'm like, that much? You already gave me enough.
Well, they'd shot quite a lot of the film, and they'd run over budget, and then there was a certain point where they held back killing Murphy. So they went to the studio and they went, we need some more money. They were like, no, you can't have any more money. You spent enough. They spent like $11 million by this point, and they asked for another couple more to really push it forward. And that's when because they went, we need to film Murphy getting shot shit, and then that's when they did that, and then they went all out. The fact that I had seen this many times, and I saw it was when I was younger and stuff. I forgot. Shane, you nailed it, by the way, by the description there. But the way that they were shouting, they were laughing and taking real joy out of killing a cop, but also that last shot when they shot him at the side of the head.
Yeah.
They put a prosthetic over Weller's head, and then they obviously they did the swip, but it was just so it was really difficult to watch. Yeah. With the Ed 209 scene, they put 200 swibs yeah, under this guy's shirt, and then they were just setting him off, and then people weren't expecting it to go on as much as they did. Hence why the reaction was so like, Jesus Christ, look at this, because they thought he was just going to get shot once or twice, but they went off. And Paul Verhoeven he just goes more, bigger, and he just loves that. And obviously he did like Total Recall and Starship Troopers. So there's a couple of like those kind of films. He obviously done those later on, but that's the kind of aesthetic and the kind of way that he directs. I've got a quick clip later on for when they're making of it, where it's shows you how they did the Ed 209. Which looks like he's doing it with a 6-scale figure. But afterwards, there's like a very short clip afterwards, which shows Paul Verhoeven really going in and showing real direction. So I'm going to go and show you that now, because I think it's just a really funny, it just shows you the type of person that they were working with.
Is a frame-by-frame process where we move the stop-motion model, the arms, the legs, the feet, the tail, the eyes, the back, very infinitesimal amounts, and then we take one frame of film and repeat that process again. Take one frame of film, repeat the process, take one frame of film.
Action! Go!
Imagine that, she's director. But yeah, that's the take.
I wonder how much that Ed 209 thing's going for, if it's even still around, man.
Oh yeah, it'll be pricey times.
You're right. It looks 6-scale.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. And they actually, like, I've got some pictures later on of what they actually released, Hot Toys wise, and it looks exactly like that one that he used. So maybe they took that from it. But a second, I'm just going to go through a couple of the people from chat. My brother James Neild. Watch the screens in the future for that name, my brother. Thank you so much. Can't wait for this, brother. What a panel. Very true. Hit the nail on the head there, Shane. 100%. Bill Tibbett, dude, stop motion hero of our favorite childhood films. Yes, he is. I believe he won an Oscar as well later on down the road. I was way too young when it was released in theaters, so my first time watching it was a modified TV version. Minimal violence. So you can imagine my shock when I saw the uncut version years later. Yes, they did a thing in England. I don't know if you remember this, Al, where they'd show it. They'd cut quite a bit of it, and then for any swearing, they go, "You mother chucker," like this, and they kind of dub it a little bit to make it palatable on screen. So they dub those words on top. So that was quite a lot of mother chuckers. A lot of mother chuckers. Yeah. Especially with the guy when he's walking into the shop, and this guy's going, "Look, man, he's just shooting." It's like, that's such a weird thing to say to a robot with a big gun coming at you. So I just thought. So obviously, right? Okay, just give me 1 second. So I've got a little quick. I really like the delivery on this one, so I'll just quickly show you.
Come quietly or there will be trouble.
Ah, fuck you!
You're not wrong. That guy is cursing like it's an art form. His delivery is
so good.
So
good. The delivery is so good.
He meant it.
Oh yeah, he definitely meant it. I really like that bit. I really laughed when he said it as well. Supposing with Pete, when Dick Jones calls the boss asshole in the bathroom, the version I saw was a badly dubbed airhead. Oh my god, Jesus! Yeah, that scene. What they did was when they were filming the movie, they hadn't finalized on the suit. So they'd gone back and forth and they were deciding what the designs were like. So the guy who designed it did a lot of work later on with Paul Verhoeven for Total Recall and won the Oscar for the makeup and special effects. But he had a really good version of Robocop And Paul Verhoeven was like, no, not having it. Go back to drawing board. Go away, go away, go away. But they started filming. So they started filming those bits in the corporate bathroom, in the offices, until they finalized on the idea, which was, surprise, surprise, one of the first ideas that they went back to. So instead of going back and forth, they could have just gone with the first one and stuck to it. But they filmed a lot of that with those guys. So I just thought it was quite interesting how like a lot of the behind the scenes he's very volatile as a director. He pissed off a lot of people. Peter Weller, I said Paul again. Peter Weller clashed quite a bit with him. Obviously, Peter Weller, he had to wear that suit, which was so big and so cumbersome. He trained for 7 months with a movement coach to get the movement right. So it was like with the way he was walking, and then he put on like a American football suit on top to so you can kind of mimic the suit. But once they put the suit on, he still wasn't used to it. So Paul Verhoeven said, "Oh, you need to walk like this. You want to this. You want to walk like this." And they clashed quite a bit because of obviously he put so much time and effort into actually getting those movements right. Which, by the way, spot on. He absolutely nailed that. And
pulled it off.
Unbelievable.
Like, you know, the movement. I was like, yeah, he did it.
Unbelievable. Like, even watching it now, like it's really good when we do this show, because going back to classics and going back to The Well and looking in our new fresh eyes and going, wow. Even by today's standards, that's amazing. And Peter Weller, he lost 3 pounds a day in sweat and weight just for wearing that suit all the time. And he suffered quite a bit. He suffered from claustrophobia later on, where he had to he basically struggled sleeping. So then he relied quite a lot on prescription drugs to try and get him to sleep, which was obviously quite heavy stuff. So yeah, it was obviously, and he was quite method at the time as well, because originally they wanted Arnie to do the role, but they thought that he would be too big and would just literally look like the Michelin Man. He looked like he needed a suit. So they went with Peter Weller, who was a marathon runner and obviously an actor, but obviously he was so slight. I forgot how slight he looked back in the day, because obviously we've seen him in like Star Trek Into Darkness and things like this, and I forgot how slight he was, and quite a pretty guy. And I forgot about that relationship that he had with his partner, which obviously was very, very fleeting, didn't last very long. But I thought that was a good little dynamic. Al, what was your favorite scene?
Favorite scene? Probably, I don't know. I quite like the kind of the final showdown in the giant, the big factory. I think it's great. Like the effects. I think I was talking to Shane about the unmasked effect. It's great. Like you know, considering some of the other effects are quite spotty, that like the actual physical prosthetics look spot on. Like I was looking for the seams, and I was like, how you know, how have they done this? I just think he looks great in that scene. And it's just, you know, it's just the finale. Like all the gang are getting taken out one at a time. You know, you've wanted them to get the kind of come up into the whole film. And it's happening in really brutal ways as well, to be fair. Like the guy from ER who gets the toxic waste on him. It's just terrifying and disgusting.
Like they said the only doctor that could have saved him was himself. But not really. Sorry. Too dark. Too dark.
Yeah, he went there. It's just horrible, just disgusting. But like, it's great. Do you know what I mean? For a finale, it's awesome, and I think it really kind of, as I said, it kind of ramps up the whole film to that point, and then just gives you everything.
Yeah, I agree. I think one of the best bits for me was when he came down from the top office and he was met by all those policemen. And he was being shot, and he was just see how much it was hurting him, and obviously taking him down, and then he obviously had to escape through the car park. I like that a lot. But one of the best bits for me was the petrol station, the gas station, for you all Americans, and it's the bit where the explosion was so big behind the scenes. They didn't realize how big it was going to be, it actually knocked out quite a few windows across Dallas, because they filmed quite a lot of it in Dallas, and they actually got the emergency services out because they thought an actual explosion had taken place. And but I really like that scene a lot. I think kind of miss that with current films where you see a real explosion and you really feel it. I really like the bit when he just shoots his bike and then just goes flying off and it hits the car and things like that. It's just those little scenes are just for me are really great. Layal, what about you, buddy?
Favorite scene?
Yeah.
Oh, the warehouse scene, hands down. Because and one of my favorite scenes is the movement. The thing is, Peter Weller mastered the movement so well that he made just the robotic movement cool. You never seen him run. There was never a run with him, and he didn't have to. Even like the subtle movements when you see him shooting. There's a guy over here. He turns to the left and then shoots like he turns to the right and shoots like that. I'm like, yo, those scenes were amazing, because that's when you know, like, he had a mission. There was nothing that was going to get in his way. And I think that cinematically, that particular scene was one of the best scenes I ever seen on film, you know. And when we talk about the suit, it holds up even to the, when you're right, it holds up even to this day, better than that stupid ass remake that we got. I don't know why they were thinking about that. That was terrible. But this holds up, and it would hold up. If they did a remake right now, I would hope they would keep the suit, that same suit that he had, because it was before its time. It's still before its time. It was amazingly done. The gun holstered in the side of his leg the way it did, it was phenomenal. But that warehouse scene, oh my God. I mean, you know, just him going in, I was like, yeah, you already knew it was good. Because I know a lot of people's like, their favorite scene is between him and Ed 209, but I'm like, nah, that warehouse scene, because like, even when he walks in, the dude was like, fuck me. If I'd have basically seen him coming, I'd be like, all right, so check this out. Y'all got this, right? I'm out.
I'm off.
Right? Because obviously, if you see him armed like that, that's armor. Ain't nothing you got gonna take him down. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was my favorite scene. I enjoyed it.
I love that scene. I I'd edited all that stuff earlier, and I wanted to include the whole him shooting around his shoulder and all this, but I thought, I'm going to get down on this. So I wanted to be careful, but I absolutely love that scene as well. The music, by the way, that theme, I forgot about it. And then when he's in the car on the way to the first shop, and it starts going off, and I'm like, oh my God, it brought it back. I haven't seen this for like 20 something years, and that was like, wow, that power of like the music, just to kind of the theme just getting you. And I was like, Jesus, this is it. I absolutely loved it. Shane, what about you, buddy?
I'm loving every bit of this conversation, lads. Like every last little morsel of it. Yeah. I knew you were going to ask me what my favorite scene was. And after I rewatched the film, I actually watched it a few months ago for the first time in a while, and I rewatched it again like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. And I knew you were going to ask me this, but it ties in to what Alan says. Alan said, like, it's pretty, there's no filler. It's scene after scene. It flows very well. It's go, 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 go. It doesn't seem rushed, but at the same time, there's no filler. There's no like quiet part and then, oh, the good part's coming. I find it very hard to pick out a specific scene that I would say my favorite. So I've gone for a scene that, like, I don't know what it is. I really, really like it. Just simply, can you fly, Bobby? Like when he throws that guy out of the back of the car and he lands onto the cop. The whole chase scene is ridiculous because it's like the cop.
Yeah.
The cop.
Can you fly, Bobby?
You see, cops don't like me. So, and I don't like cops.
Yeah.
But you know when he takes the two guns, it's like, all right, yeah, the armored van has just been stolen. We're in pursuit. Great. We're not going to wait for backup. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sit my ass on the edge of this, out the top of the car with my two guns. I'm guessing that's not on police protocol. But that shootout was a great shootout. It's a great shootout.
It was a good shootout.
Basically says to you, I remember an English teacher I had years ago. He said, the best authors, and it's the same as any storyteller, they show They don't tell. They don't go, Clarence is a very bad guy. They show Clarence take one of his friends and just jettison him. And from that moment, you know, yeah, he don't play. Do you know what I mean? This guy is pure evil. And then what happens 10 minutes later? So that's just a scene which really sets it up. It's a good shoot 'em up car chase. And then there's a very, this guy is bad news. And as much as I love Clarence, I also love Red Foreman. The 70s
Red
show.
Foreman.
He plays the dad. The same actor.
Yeah.
Plays the villain, plays the dad in the 70s show.
Oh, I never watched that.
Eric's dad. Yeah.
Oh, Leal, you mute.
You're muted.
No, that 70s show, he still has the same tone. He's just a dad in this show. That's the thing.
Yeah. How about my foot up your ass, Eric? Yeah, it's
Never watched that.
Yeah. Oh, it's an underrated show, and he plays the dad. You know, and he's very good in it. It's well worth it. It's well worth a binge. Like, it's funny and it's set in the 70s, and, you know. But yeah, that scene definitely it sets up the movie and sets up the tone. That this guy, he's such a good bad guy. And he can't finish a sentence without swearing. Like, he must be part Irish, but yeah.
Probably.
The cops don't like me. I spend a lot of time saying that.
Yeah, I've got one here. That impression Shane was spot on. Posing with Pete said that. Look at that. High praise.
High praise.
High praise. Ryan,
Thanks,
hey,
Peter.
buddy. Hey, guys, a bit late to the party. Now you can watch it. Thank you very much for tuning in, though. Appreciate it. Good to hear from you. I'm just loving this chat. I'm loving that we're having a bit of a chat about this. Obviously, have you guys seen the sequels? Have you seen how it went downhill from there? The second one's not bad. It was rushed.
Like the second one.
I like the second one, man. I quite enjoyed the second one. Even though narrative wise, it wasn't as cohesive as I thought it should have basically been. I hated the kid. I mean, he was annoying. It started getting annoying down the road, but for what it was,
John Connor. He was John Connor.
You know what I mean? Like, it was, but I mean, for what it was, the thing is you can go down the road with the sequels. The 1 and 2 were good. You know what I mean? The first one is classic. You'll never replace it. You'll never replace the feel, the nostalgia that you got the first time you saw it. That was just the impact. The second film was something that they wanted to capitalize on because they knew that it could become a franchise. But I just think at certain points it became more of a misstep than not taken away from the potential. It's just that I think in certain aspects of the film it was rushed. Like it was really rushed.
100%. What happened was they turned to the writers who wrote the screenplay of the first one, and they went, after like 3 weeks of it being released, they went, right, we need another one. We need another one in 3 months' time. We want a final script. And they couldn't do it. And there was a writer's strike around that time as well. And comic book writers, we all know, Frank Miller had turned it in a Robocop 3 script, which was very different in tone, but very interesting. And he started they went to him because those writers said, we can't do it. We don't want to be a scab, all this kind of stuff. So they went to Frank Miller, and Frank Miller, if you know, Lyle, it's a bit of a mental, bit off the chain a little bit. He's a bit crazy in certain ways. And
he has no filter.
He's got no filter, and he went ham on it, and they went, we'll leave this idea. Thanks very much. Anyway, we'll go a different direction. And they have actually released those comics, on his script. They did. They released a collected version of that script, which apparently is pretty good. And then they did another one as well where Robocop was taking on OCP in the comics. Apparently it was very good. It was 2014, 2015 that came out. So apparently it's very good. So it's worth checking out, apparently. But yeah, for me, second one was really good. And the third one was atrocious. And that's when we got to see the jetpack and all that good stuff.
Looks dope, though.
It does. Speaking of
a
which,
rare occasion where an Irishman used the term dope.
And pulls it off. There you go.
Yeah.
Here it goes. So here is the Robocop 3. I didn't realize how different it was in the color. This one. because it's got a bit of like a bit of a purple tinge to it. Yeah, which is a shame. Yeah, which is a real shame. But it still looks damn good to me.
It still looks, and the thing is, because I
yeah.
can't get my hands on the first one.
Same.
Shame.
Yeah, no, right.
You know, I would have to go for this particular version because, like, I mean, I don't have the luck of the Irish, man. To kind of, you know what I mean? I just don't.
He's got the connections.
He got the connections, bro, like straight up. So, you know, he's able to pull that. And his, you know, that piece that he has is unrivaled. Like, you can't, I mean, that with the chair, that is unrivaled, bro. Like that, it looks so phenomenal. You know, even like I said, that grayish tone, that's the one, that's classic. That's what takes you back. That's what you knew about the film. Whereas the other version, yeah, it's okay, but it just doesn't give me the same feel. And if you're a fan of the film, that's the only way that you'll be able to tell. Because it's polar opposites, but a lot of people looking at it would be like, well, how? You have to watch if you're a fan of the actual films, like you would know right away.
Yeah. That is a stunning piece that you've got that there. It's amazing. Did you end up using it with the sound effects and stuff?
No, what I did was I haven't actually. The chair actually lights up, but there's AAAs, so I put them in. I don't mind putting them in because you know it just I don't know. I find that they don't really. It's not that they don't corrode. It's like I find it's easier for me to just switch out the AAAs if I wanted, or it's easy to put in, easy to take out. Whereas those little batteries in the back of the chest, you need to set it. You need to schedule it. Take a day off work, and so they're strange. The batteries, I think they're. I don't know the name of them. They're not like little button cell batteries, and they're not like AAA. They seem like half the size of a AAA. So I actually haven't got the batteries yet. But it was brand new. There was no corrosion because it's brand new. But I haven't actually tried it yet because I need to get the batteries that go into him, and then the little button cell batteries that go into the remote. Because
okay.
Actually, sorry, no, I tell a lie. That's what it was. It was brand new, but because it hadn't been open, there was no corrosion on the figure itself. But the 3 little batteries were starting to show signs of corrosion, and they hadn't been obviously installed in the figure, because if it was installed in the figure, you'd know, okay, someone's duped you. You've got, a second hand, but all the seals were, properly closed. It was definitely a brand new figure. But you could see do you know when you get those Iron Men, there's a little plastic case and it holds the button cells. There was a small bit of corrosion coming in, so I immediately got them away from my bloody figure. So I'm gonna suss them out, and I might do another video with just the sound effects, because it's a little remote, and that's pretty cool. That's
amazing. That's amazing.
But the thing is, I still wouldn't rule getting out that Robocop 3 one, because it looks that hint of blue looks amazing, and as much as I didn't like the film, the jetpack looks really cool. In fairness,
if that's diecast as well, that would look amazing.
Yeah, and even the 2-pack of this. Do you ever see the 2-pack?
Yes, it's I've got it here. That one there.
Don't sleep on 2-packs.
I know.
Ooh.
I know. Oof, look how good that is. I mean, that is absolutely spot on. It's even got the baby food that he shoots.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. And you know what?
Amazing.
I have a real soft spot for figures with kind of cool helmets after that Snowspeeder Luke. It just is such a nice touch, that helmet on it. So this guy's kind of a SWAT armored helmet. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah. It's Posing with Pete's just said something. The blue pearlescent tint on the new Robocop figure looks exaggerated in the official promo pics. It's more of a muted on the prototype figure in the pitch shared with Hong Kong collectors. So that's interesting. Thanks for that, Pete. I didn't realize. Yeah, that's really good. Good
old
know.
Pete, man.
Yeah, good work.
Good old Pete,
Ryan,
bro.
I deleted part 3 from my memory, didn't we all? Evening all. Triple G, hey buddy. I have to get you on one night. You've got a Robocop Triple G that if you want to sell it to me, let me know. Could be interested.
Peter's a Grail hunter. I'm telling you.
Is it?
He's a Grail hunter, man.
He wasn't a fan of it, he was saying. I was like, what's he doing?
He messaged me, though, I think, and he said, I had another look at it. I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, Peter, but he had another look at it, and he was like, yeah, actually, this is awesome. And maybe I'm wrong.
You're enabling. But yeah, they released two versions of this. So the battle damaged single pack, and then the normal Robocop there on the clean version, and then they released a double pack with Murphy and the battle damage. And then they got the one with the chair, and they got an Ed 209 as well. The Ed 209 apparently is really not great with the elastic bands that they've got in the knees, so it kind of doesn't really hold up very well. Yeah, Triple G says, yep, changed my mind. I love it. Damn. Thought I'd get a cheap deal there. But I just thought it was worth just showing those, because obviously we're in the collecting game. I thought it was worth us kind of showing the impact on Man I Need an Ed 209 in my life. Triple G says, yeah, you have to be very careful. A mate of mine had one, and it was really not good with the joints, and I think the elastic bands or the elastic wasted away after a while, so it couldn't really stand up very well. You can sometimes get them redone and repurposed on eBay, but you have to be very careful. So be careful when you do that. Positive Pete says, I pray for an Ed 209 reissue /2.0. You know what? I bring on all the 2.0s at the minute. I'm all for that. S-Beam. Beam is in the house as well. Hey buddy, thank you for joining us. Please, figure gods, Howard Chan, please, Howard Chan. There you go. Look at that. You did it already. You beat us to it. Beam. Is there anything else anyone would like to highlight from this film? Anything anyone wants to talk about? Al? Oh yeah, Shane, you go ahead, man. Yes.
Yeah. Number one, posing with Peter, Ed 209 was actually in Robocop 3 as well, and they've just released the Robocop 3 version. The second thing is, I found it really interesting, right? That you were saying that Arnie was considered for this, but he would look too big, and they went with a guy who was slight, narrow. He could be anyone, you know, and he was converted into this, like, you know, part machine super cop. Now, I'm gonna get. I had to look up this guy's name. The guy who plays Bishop in Aliens, Lance Hendrickson.
Yes, he was going to replace him at one point. Yeah,
he was also in. Actually, I could definitely see that he was also in Terminator.
Yes,
and originally he auditioned for the Terminator because they wanted a human-looking, relatable character who didn't look superhuman or anything. Just someone who'd be able to walk into a bar and you wouldn't be like, he's not a threat. But eventually they went with, no, look, we want the big Austrian world man, you know, because he'll just look like, you know, the pinnacle of, you know, I know male physique or whatever. Like they wanted that powerful look, like when, you know, the rest is history.
Absolutely. Well, absolutely. Yeah. Well, Lance Hendrickson, like you said, was in the running, as was O.J. Simpson for the Terminator. A man who could do no wrong, apparently, but Lance Hendrickson, I think he would be great. Do you guys ever watch a show called Millennium?
Yeah,
where it was Chris Carter who did the X-Files, did a show, and it was a really good. It was after the X-Files. It was really good. Like, and it was. I really enjoyed it. It was great actor as well. But yeah, there was a point where. Basically, they had a big falling out with Peter Weller, and they were going to get Lance Hendrickson in to replace him, because they could quite easily do that, because obviously it's very similar kind of structure and stuff, facial structure and stuff like that, and similar kind of looking guy. But I just thought that was really interesting. But that's a good little observation with that. With you, Lael, how about yourself? You got anything else you want to cover on the film?
Oh man, I mean, I think what was just the simple fact of sheer nostalgia, like talking about it right now, just takes you back. Like I could just like to the point where it's funny, but I can smell the day. You know what I mean? Like I almost definitely what happened, you know, that particular day. And coming out of the theater, it was just like, you know, it's not like it is right now where, you know, we have, you know, we had. Like we didn't basically have like social media and streaming properties, or, you know, it wasn't out on DVD back then. You had to wait till it actually dropped on VHS at that point, you know, or when Laserdisc actually came around, and that was shortly lived. But it was just like one of those situations where, like, when you think about it, you know, the caliber of actors that they actually had in that film. Just the cast complimented each other, and even though like the villains were kind of wonky, the writing was kind of, you know, it was kind of like not robotic, but it was just like overly animated at some points. You were so fascinated with the sheer scope. And the most important, and the things that we don't really talk about, is how even important the commercials were to that time.
Yes,
you know what I mean. That they
that.
actually showed, like, you know what I mean, with radiation, how you had to have like lotion to kind of help keep you from getting burnt by the sun. Like, you know, I'll buy that for $1, like that. You know, that just basically played in the back of your head for like the longest time. But it goes to show, like, when we think about that, and it was funny that you mentioned Starship Troopers, because it was sort of like the same tropes, like almost the same thing, and the same
social
violence.
commentary and the satire as well. There's a lot of stuff there that kind of, which is quite similar to Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns, where they've got the news reports in between, and there's all links to like the kind of the Reagan, this is what's going on the other side of the world. They've got the nuke, they've got this, they've got that, and then but by the way, everything's fine. Detroit's falling apart, which has happened as well in real life, and nuke them before they nuke you. That was one of the adverts that came out. That's very true. I laughed at that one this afternoon when I rewatched it again today. This is one of those movies that I get burned in my brain. So many great lines and quotable scenes. Pop culture, Costa, hey buddy. To see Robocop when it came out, it was awesome. I was 12. I think we were saying about we're all about the same kind of age when we watched that for the first time. And absolutely, that social commentary and the kind of obviously ahead of its time with a lot of it, where like kind of the deterioration of American manufacturing, focusing on the militarization of the police as well, and things like that. So it's just really, really interesting, where I think those things obviously real life as well, and the corporate kind of the 1980s side as well. It's really interesting what they've done there.
Hey Rich, so I'm triggered because you said focus and I reached for the mouse, but I forgot this isn't my channel.
Did you see my comment? Did you see my comment? I was in the gym this morning, right? I was telling the guys back to stage, right? Woke up, I am up at 5 o'clock, in the gym about maybe like 6 o'clock, and I was like, right, had my phone with my headphones ready to go, and I was like, all right, I want to listen to some streams, and I was like, oh, Leia, a comic book talk with friends, we're talking about Deadpool 3, sign me up. 10 minutes in, hey, yo, someone said focus, and he's not actually doing this way, and I'm there straight onto the comments going, what? It was funny.
Focus moment, I told you every time.
And I'm there smiling, and then these people are kind of going, what is that guy smiling about? He should be happy at 6 o'clock in the morning.
you know what I started watching when after our stream, the Bo Selector, Michael Jackson stuff. Oh my god, just different level when they're going around JJB Sports with Uri Geller, and it's just like, oh my god,
much fun, man.
Just so much fun.
I love that bit when they're here, like, we here in London, England, home of the Queen Mother. Fuck up. It's just so funny. Man, Bo Selector was like, I don't think you get away with that stuff today, man.
No, you definitely can't.
Dido. He just sings everything, and it's still funny. Like, I just don't know.
Lee Francis Scott had to apologize for playing a different race, shall we say? So he got done for that. So he had to apologize for it, even though at the time he didn't get any kind of thing. So it was really bad, actually. Bless him. But you could tell he was really hurt by it, because he was a big MJ fan as well. So he was doing it out of love, and so it was obviously really bad. But
is that Avid Miriam's real name?
Lee Francis, yeah.
Right. I see.
It's worth watching the thing he does. But some people actually suggesting doing Starship Troopers down the road as well.
I'd love to.
Be covered. Yeah. I've got a bit of a list I want to run through with y'all soon about what we're going to do next and stuff. But I'm thinking we'll do Black Panther closer to the time of release, and then I'm thinking as well, if we all try and watch the film on the first weekend, I'll watch it first day and try and watch it, and then we'll do a film club about Wakanda Forever. Something we can kind of just full on spoiler talk. I think that could be really quite interesting to see everyone thinks of it as well.
Yeah, I'm going the first day in the theater. It's going to be interesting because the theater that I'm going to, they're actually, everyone that attends that particular showing has to wear all white. So it's
wow,
going to be
because of the
incredible,
funeral, yeah.
because of the funeral,
man.
yeah. So it's going to be
Yeah,
amazing. I can't wait to go.
Yeah. Hey, is that the Inquisitoria?
Oh yeah, so I
Yeah.
finally finished it, bro. Like,
I like that.
yeah, I had it. I finally finished it. It was like this set was like over 900 and something pieces, so it's finally finished.
That's really nice.
Yeah, man. Like, I mean, because I got this for like the Bricks and Brews show. So opens up at the top. You can put the figures in. Like, it's it's a nice piece as a Lego piece.
Nice. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this is like the first Lego set that I got myself back into. Like, I have another piece that I got on the day, but I think is with this, like I said, even dealing with Sean and all of them over there at Collecting Weekly, it was just like more. It's more. It's like a stress reliever when you're doing it. You're talking and stuff like that. So,
yeah,
I was like, started not finished. So yeah.
That's great. I did before Lola was born. I got the UCS Millennium Falcon, which is 6,500 pieces, and it is massive. It is just ridiculously big, and I did that over many number of months, ready for her arrival, and then I had to put it in storage. So it sat in storage with a blanket over it. But yeah, no, I know what you mean. It's really nice to have that kind of thing to really. It's just really, it's good stress reliever. I like it a lot. Beats drinking. so I'm doing.
That's hard enough to do. Like sober, those guys having a few beers, trying to put the stuff together.
Right.
Yeah, good for them. My Lego Prime almost killed me. Yeah, because you opened all the bags up straight away. You rookie. I saw the picture just like.
And just pour the bags everywhere.
You got to take your time.
One by one. I learned that. Bag by bag. You just do it. And the thing is, it was pissing me off because, which they're really good about. I thought I lost a piece. So I contacted them. They sent me the piece, but then I found the damn piece inside the book. I was like, you bastards. But I still had like.
Yeah, that's nice of them.
Yeah, they sent it to you in like maybe 2 or 3 days. So they're good.
Yeah, that's awesome. Empire Strikes Again, Wakanda Forever. Yes, please.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm thinking about doing so we'll do that, and then if you guys are up for that, doing Black Adam as well. I don't know how much you bothered about seeing it on the first weekend.
I'm gonna see it that Friday. I'm not gonna go Thursday, but I'm gonna see it that Friday. So we'll definitely go see it.
Yeah, wicked. But yeah, so that's the plan. And next week we're gonna do Terminator 2 Judgment Day. So I've got a ton of trivia and stuff already lined up for that one, and loads of clips that I can throw in for comedic effect and stuff as well. So it's just some really interesting behind the scenes stuff that happened there as well on that film. But Al, would you like to tell us about your channel, your Instagram handles, and tell us what you have coming up?
Okay, how's the sound now, by the way? Is that any better?
A lot better. Well done. Thank you.
I fixed the problem. I switched the baby monitor off. It was a baby monitor. I switched her off. And there's no problem. No, there's no problem.
She's okay.
Hope she's all right.
They'll be fine. They'll be fine.
Okay.
Because I was thinking, what's different? What's different than the other streams I've done? And there was a baby monitor right there because my wife is doing a night shift tonight, so I'm in charge. So I was like, get rid of that.
I appreciate you doing this while you're babysitting. That's really appreciated.
I'm dedicated, mate. Do you know what I mean? I'm nothing's going to stop me. I've been terrified to speak the whole time, by the way, because I was mortified. I didn't want any sound issues. I was like, oh no, what have I done? Yeah. So anyway, I fixed it at the very end. So my my channel, the 6 Scale Gallery. I just uploaded my first video today, which you guys have, told people about. Thankfully. I've been threatening to do it for a while, and I've been filming it for the last couple of days. I just thought I'd just finally go for it. Just kind of I'm gonna do studies on head sculpts and things like that, and kind of light them in different ways, and try and get like a cinematic kind of vibe to it.
Oh, that's awesome! Yeah,
and kind of tie it in with the images on my Instagram, which is the same name. So on a kind of like a consistent look. But yeah, I hope people like it, and any feedback is welcome.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to watching it. I think the cinematic look you've got down, it's
Impeccable.
absolutely spot on. Yeah, really
Thank
good.
Thank you.
And so no, that's I'm really looking forward to seeing what you do. So it's going to be a study of head sculpts and kind of different lighting and stuff, and maybe kind of like a behind the scenes of how you construct your photos. I think because Kiko Collects, he did a photo that performed really well. He said about how he lights his and does his behind the scenes photos.
I watched it.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
I love watching. I love picking up different tips from other like toy photographers and or any behind the scenes stuff I'm watching. Because I just like to learn, and I like to pick things up and think, oh, that's interesting. It's an interesting way of doing things.
No, it's great. It's great. I think that's the only. I've been trying to learn from as many people as I can. There's no book for this. It's just kind of. Going and just
especially with toy photography as well. It's there's been toy photographers for a while, but I think it's with hot toys and things like that, and with NECA, it's really become a big thing lately. You know what I mean? Like there's so many like great photographers, like not including myself in it, but like like people like 16shooter and BG Toy, all the hot toys, like blogger guys, like. They just really suit, being photographed and things like that. So
you've done amazing. And even like I've seen people do like the little McFarlane toys, like they did the Batman one. There's a guy who'd got like a little. He'd done it probably in post, but he'd got the flare. And he'd done the flare look, so it's all in lit, and it just looked amazing. I was like, "How the hell did he do that?" So yeah, I'd be really interested to see that, all that kind of stuff. And you got a great collection behind you as well. You can incorporate some really badass scenes and stuff as well. So that's really interesting to watch. But you are welcome anytime, buddy. And obviously, want to try and do more stuff with you all anyway. So obviously, I'm going to reach out to you about advice on photography. And
anytime
if you need. Don't know what you need advice from me from, but just let me know if you need anything. Give me a shout. Leal, what have you got coming up on your channel, my brother?
What do we see? Like tomorrow is Say What Wednesday, of course. So we're going to have Say What. I have an interesting topic that I'm putting together. So I just want to kind of get some things around, but I'll have that thumbnail up tonight. Don't know who's going to be on tomorrow, but I'll have a few people on there, like just the regulars and stuff like that, maybe a special guest here and there, but I can't wait for that. There won't be an Uncivilized Scoundrels on Thursday because like I said, we're getting ready for Comic-Con this week, so I'm definitely excited about that. Figure. Now here's the thing, I kind of felt like I needed to do something because we're not going to actually have Figure Flex Friday, so I'm thinking about the possibility of moving Figure Flex Friday to Figure Flex Thursday. I don't know. It might just have, just depending on what everybody wants. I'll put it out there and we'll probably do a Figure Flex Thursday ahead of time just to give people, just to have a flex. Because I don't want to just, I already did, skip the week before. So I was like, you know what? We did last Friday. I want to kind of continue on with that. So I might do that just to close out this week. And then the lounge on Sunday, I don't know, I might do a live lounge on Sunday. I'm still thinking about possibly doing that, like just doing an early one because you guys will be up. So definitely doing like an early lounge on Sunday just to kind of still do that and then head to the con after that because I'll still have time. I have my laptop with me, so I don't think that'd be a problem. So I might do that. I'll let you guys know in advance. A few videos,
please.
Yeah, a few videos coming up. I'm actually working on the 2 Tusken Raiders with the Boba Fett 2-pack, actually the Nomad Boba Fett. So I'm doing a posing, take a position on that one, and just kind of barreling through like the load of everything else that I actually have that I still need to crack open and get going. So again, we'll basically see, and I'm gonna probably do a live on Saturday at the con, just to kind of give everybody a preview of what's going on. So I don't know if I'm gonna do Friday, Saturday. I'll let you know. So that's
awesome.
Tomorrow night, real quick, we are gonna announce the winner of the Iron Scavenger from Jazz Inc. That will be announced tomorrow. We'll roll the dice on that. There's still some spaces left for people who want to actually jump in on that. There's spaces available, so you can actually get in on that. But yeah, that's it, man. Thanks for having me, bro.
Man, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate you taking the time out to do that. With the Iron Scavenger, if I paid for it to get sent, if I won it, would I be able to put a slot in? Is that all right?
Yeah, you can put a slot in if you want to.
That's if I win.
Definitely, bro.
I don't think I will, but
hey, you never know, bro. You never know. You
never know.
Definitely, you can do.
Yeah, I'll get a slot. I'll message you.
Gotcha.
Thank you again, man. Focus. What have you got for me?
Just I actually won a snowspeeder Luke from Dan and Dre from SSR. They had this like 2K giveaway thing, but I used to comment on one of their videos, and I just commented kind of saying, look, if I win it, I'm just doing this for your algo. If I win it, I'll give it to someone else. So they had a second place just in case, and just said, so do you want to keep it? Do you want to sell it? Do you want to give it to that guy? So apparently it was his birthday, so I just kind of goes, yeah. I
saw that live. I was going to say it on Sunday, but that was really nice that he did it. Because he already got one, so he was like, give it to the guy, and that was really nice that he did that. Really gracious.
Like
that was really nice.
I've already got one, and it's I can I'm in a position where I can. So
good for you. No, that's lovely. What else you got coming up on the channel?
What do I got coming up? I want to do more impressions of Clarence Boddicker. That's what I want to do.
Do a live
That's exactly what I want to do. I'm gonna have a video. You a good cop, hot shot? I'm sure you are. Why, you gotta be some kind of great cop. Coming in here all by yourself. Whack. I'm just gonna do that for the next hour to myself in this room, man.
Your poor missus.
Some sort of great cop, hot shot. You fly, Bobby.
Bobby.
Yeah, Bobby. It just gets me every time, man. He's a real evil. He's an evil man. What's coming up?
Bro, he tells the girl she can keep the gun, bro. I'll die, bro.
Oh, yeah. And then when he kind of pops his head out at the side, like when the doors close.
Such a piece of shit.
Right. Absolutely. Alan said it best. He is an absolute. He's the skid mark on the criminal underworld. If the criminal underworld was underwear, like he's a skid mark, man. No, wasn't a nice guy. Hot shot. Anyway, hey, Dickie boy. I just love that guy, but I hate him. So, what's coming up in my channel? I'm going to do an entire skit of just Clarence quotes. So, now what's coming up?
There you go. Whole 90 minutes with posing with Pete.
Man,
you got it. There you go.
Count me in. I'll brush up. I'll practice, and I'll even dress up. I get the little glasses and the blood marks. So, yeah, I've started doing kind of rapid reviews. Like it's very straightforward. Here's the box. Here are the accessories. This is my forever pose, and I just outline it. But I kind of want to just improve that. So I have a Deadpool 2 Deadpool up there live in a channel. I'm working on a Commander Cody. Obviously I got the Robocop up there. Yesterday I put up a video called Hot Toys Are Listening. Just about 7 things that I've noticed that we've wanted for a while, that they're kind of starting to listen when they want to. But just some observations I've made, simple things that diorama bases, USB powered lightsabers, USB power in general. There's about 7 or 8 different points there that I've just noticed that they've been doing for the last few weeks or months that people actually wanted. So they seem to be listening. So it's just an interesting video. I thought it was.
Yeah, it was. I actually watched that video yesterday. It's a good video, but no, I really like the thumbnail. Your little expressionful face.
Oh yeah. I love making thumbnails, man. I don't know what it is. It's like, I think it's because all the hard work is done, and now I'm going, right, let's have a bit of fun with this. So that's pretty much it, man. If you haven't checked out the channel, that's 16figure Focus. I'm getting triggered now when I say focus because that bloody picture's going to pop up. But
that's it.
Yes,
not here. You'll be all right. You're safe here.
Yeah, it's a safe place.
Yes. You get yourself off, Lael. Thank you again. Appreciate it.
Man. Can't wait to
All
see
right.
you guys
See
again,
you.
my boys, my
See you,
brothers. Shane,
Thanks so much.
watch out for tomorrow, man. Watch out for tomorrow.
Watch out for
Focus
tomorrow.
time. Focus time. You know, it's always every day. Somebody says focus, that picture goes up all day.
Yeah.
Anyway, man, talk to you guys later.
Take
Love
care,
you.
man.
See you.
Take care. You too, man. Cheers, man. Bye.
See you later, Dicky boy.
Do you fly, Lael? But for me, I obviously appreciate everyone joining us tonight. I really very much appreciate it. So for me and my channel, I'm going to do a regular possible live stream or just a video every Friday, which is a bit of a wrap up of the week's pop culture news. And I'm going to basically just do that every Friday, a certain point in the evening. I haven't decided when, but I'm just going to go and do that. Bit of a talk about like the Wakanda Forever trailer, obviously what happened with the Deadpool 3, everything else that comes up that we might get this week. So I'm going to do that. And also as well, I have a loads of collectibles to unbox and review. And now I'm trying to get my head around it a little bit more. It's not that easy because I haven't got like a light box and stuff like that, but I'm going to try and do something different. Like very much what you said there, Shane, about for me, I'm going to make it more dynamic and with the cuts and stuff like that to make it a bit more rather than me just going, oh, here's the box and here's this and here's that, because loads of people do those. So I'm going to try and do that. And then I've got loads of things to unbox. I've got a possibility of getting something really cool this week, but I'm kind of deciding whether or not to go down that road or get it or not. So it's a really good deal. So if I do, I'll do a video of that. But if everybody can subscribe to my channel, I'd very much appreciate it. It's Reviews with Rich and Collectibles Reviews with Rich as well on Instagram, where I'm doing lots of the collectibles stuff related there, and then the news and reviews on Reviews with Rich. So that's how I've kind of split it up a bit more. But yeah, so hopefully on Collectors Lounge. But once again, I'm just going to make sure that if anyone's here, thank you very much. Good evening and good night, everybody. Thank you, everybody, as we're now wrapping up. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. Please join us next week for Terminator 2 Judgment Day, and have a good week. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.